Hi, welcome to Yoga at the Library. We're going to have a pretty active class today. We're going to get a good stretch through all of the areas of the body. We're going to do some breathing and some moving. So I hope you enjoy. And we're going to begin today on our backs, down on our mats. You don't need any props today. If you want to have a towel or a firm blanket, that's a nice thing to have just in case. We will be sitting in this position, and sometimes it's nice to have the hips elevated just a little bit to take some angles out of the hips and the knees. So we'll get started. Coming down onto the back, onto your mat, and just noticing what is going on with your body. Noticing what's going on, especially with your spine. Taking whatever little movements you need to feel as flat down towards the floor as you can. And to feel a relaxing through the spine. Feel a release through those little muscles that hold you up all day long. Maybe you feel good with the knees bent. Maybe taking the legs out long feels nice to you. Just noticing what your body's asking for today. If you're at the end of a long day, really taking a moment to check in. See how said long day has affected your body. And we'll check in with the breath. Breathing through the nose, taking full breaths in, feeling the belly and the chest expand, and then exhaling all that air out. Taking your time to fill the lungs to their capacity. Taking your time to empty the lungs all the way. This energizes the body, centers the body. Helps us get ready mentally and physically for our yoga practice. It gets some fresh air to those hard to reach places when we breathe deeply. Fresh oxygen. Taking one more big deep breath in. And exhaling through the mouth. We'll do that one more time. If your knees are bent, go ahead and take both legs nice and long on the floor. We'll bend the right knee in, holding on to the knee. Just we're not making our circles that we usually make. We're just kind of going side to side, maybe making a couple different shapes with the knee, maybe making a triangle, maybe making a couple circles, switching directions, every shape. Maybe just swinging that knee across the body and out to the side, just noticing what feels good. But not getting stuck in that circle if that's not what your right hip needs today. We'll extend the right foot up towards the ceiling and then lower the leg all the way down to the floor. Noticing a difference just with that 20-30 seconds or so of movement in the right hip. We'll hug the left knee in, holding on to that left knee, making some shapes. with that left knee, alternating directions, maybe just swinging it across and out to the side. Maybe doing some pulses, pulsing the knee in towards the left shoulder. Seeing what feels good to that left hip today. We'll extend the leg up towards the ceiling and then exhale to lower all the way down. Right knee comes in on the exhale. And we'll inhale to switch. Right leg comes long, left knee comes in. Moving with your breath. So we're inhaling to switch and exhaling to hug the knee in. Inhaling to switch slowly and exhaling to hug that knee in. Paying attention to your low back. If your low back is coming up off of the floor, try to adjust yourself so that it presses down into the floor. We're trying to activate the core without straining the low back. Forcing ourselves to be a little bit more aware of our bodies than just a regular exercise. When you feel even, go ahead and lower both legs all the way down onto the floor. We'll extend both arms up, stretching from the fingertips all the way down to the toes. Maybe your deep breaths force you to yawn, letting that happen. We'll release the arms. Go ahead and take the bottoms of the feet to the floor. So we're bending the knees, taking the heels in nice and close. We tightened up our hip flexors during that alternating knee hugging practice that we did. I swear it has a name. Knees to chest, that's what we did, our alternating knees to chest. So now we're going to open up the hip flexors by lifting the hips up off of the floor. However, we're going to be really aware of where our spine is. So starting with the tailbone, we're lifting the tailbone, tucking the low back. We're lifting one vertebrae at a time off the floor. So we're kind of rolling the spine off the floor. Exhaling to roll the spine down to the floor. Moving with your breath, adjusting your feet as needed. Lowering on down. This activates the deep core muscles, the muscles that are a little bit harder to work out, but they're really important. They help with posture. They help with all kinds of grown-up stuff. And we'll exhale to lower all the way down. This time, hugging both knees in, rocking from side to side. Rolling out that low back. And let's go ahead and we can rock and roll forward and back, or just come over to one side and come up to a seated position. Either way, we're going to make our way up to a seated position. Sitting up tall on our mats, maybe sitting up on a blanket or a folded towel, something to lift the hips up. Bring a little bit more ease into the knees and the hips. Letting the shoulders drop away from the ears. Letting the spine be nice and long. The crown of the head reaches straight up towards the ceiling. Both sit bones are even into the floor. We'll inhale, taking both arms out and up. And exhale down to one side. Inhaling up to center. And exhaling down to the other side. Just moving with your breath, checking in with your side body. Checking in with where your hip bone meets your upper body, the place in between the hip bone and the rib cage. Making your way to center when you feel even, and we'll twist, taking one hand across to the opposite knee, one hand behind. Inhaling to get long and tall through the spine, and exhaling to twist a little deeper, using that hand to the knee for a deeper twist. Inhaling, both arms come on up, and we exhale to the other side. Inhaling to get tall, and exhaling, twisting a little deeper. Moving with your breath, and if it feels good to hang out in that twist, that's fine. If you feel better moving with each breath, if you're a little antsy today, like I am, go ahead and move with each breath. Inhaling up to center, and exhaling to twist. When you feel even, meeting back at center. And we'll go ahead and switch our ankles. So the opposite ankle's in close. Re-rooting through the sit bones and sitting up nice and tall. Let's go ahead and let's just rest the hands on the knees. Take the right ear to the right shoulder. Taking nods up and down with the chin, feeling out the left side of the neck. Checking in again with your posture, making sure that you're sitting up nice and tall through your spine, except for this very top part that we're stretching. On your next exhale, taking the chin down towards the chest. And on your inhale, coming up with the left ear towards the left shoulder, nodding up and down with the chin, stretching out this right side of the neck. Now on your exhale, meet with the chin down at the chest, and we'll do half circles from ear to ear. or full circles, opening up the throat on your way around, whatever feels best to you today. Switching directions, continuing to breathe and continuing to check in with your posture. Coming back to center with the chin down towards the chest. We'll inhale, opening the eyes if you close them. Coming back to the room. Alrighty, we're going to do some arm circles. Taking a big deep breath in with your palms at center. Exhaling, interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms forward and rounding through the spine. Inhaling, palms come up. Exhaling, hands reach back. Maybe they interlace, maybe not. Inhaling to lift the hands and lift the chin, opening the heart. Exhaling, hands come into center. Deep breath in. Exhaling, pressing the palms forward, separating the shoulder blades. Inhaling on up. Exhaling, reaching back. Inhaling, opening the heart. Exhaling, hands come into center. Deep breath in. Exhaling, opening the shoulder blades. Inhaling, palms up. Exhaling, reaching back. Inhaling to open the heart. And exhaling, hands come back into the center. Alrighty, let's go ahead and uncross those legs. Bottoms of the feet to the floor, and we'll take the knees from side to side a couple times. Just waking up the hips a little bit, waking up the legs if they fell asleep, giving your calves a little rub, giving your hamstrings a little rub. Before we ask anything else of our legs, we're going to wake them back up. And we'll make our way to tabletop position on the hands and knees. Palms right underneath the shoulders, knees right underneath the hips. Bringing the spine long and flat. And we'll move with the breath. Inhaling, lifting the tailbone, dropping the belly, lifting the chin, maybe even tucking the toes. And exhaling, pointing the toes, tucking the tailbone, rounding up through the back. Moving with your breath. It's getting to be Halloween time. My son, every time he sees like a Halloween cat, the black cat with its back arched, he says, "Oh, that's the cat from Scooby-Doo." He thinks they're all the same cat. So we're checking in with our spines, noticing what's going on, being a little bit curious maybe, moving from side to side, forward and back, letting the elbows bend in a way that feels natural, if that feels natural to you. And we'll make our way back to our neutral tabletop. The gaze is down at the floor in between your fingertips. Hands are right underneath the shoulders, readjusting if you need to. Knees are right underneath the hips. We're going to come into a spinal balance. So we're extending the right leg out long behind us, flexing the foot so the toes point straight down. The left arm comes out long. Keeping that core nice and strong, so we don't want to be arching the back to lift the heel up. We want to keep the spine as flat as we can, feeling level with the hand and level with the foot. Big deep breath in. And exhaling to lower. Coming to the other side. So the left leg comes long, flexing the foot, and the right arm comes long. The hand and the foot are level with each other, level with the shoulder and the hip and the rib cage, making one long straight line. Big deep breath in and exhaling to lower. We're going to flow through that with the breath. So we're inhaling, left arm and right leg come up, and exhaling to lower. Inhaling, right arm and left leg come up, and exhaling to lower. Keeping the spine neutral, the gaze down at the floor. Warming up the back body. When you feel even, coming back to center. Let's take the hands a little bit forward. Let's take the knees a little bit wide, the big toes together. We're going to come back for child's pose. The forehead comes down towards the floor. The hips come down towards the heels. Letting your spine be long, maybe even rounded. Getting a stretch through the tops of the feet, the fronts of the knees, the shoulders. If your arms need a break after those spinal balances and that tabletop, you can take your elbows out to the sides. Takes a little bit, or gives you a little bit different of a sensation. If there's just one yoga pose you do every day, it should be this one. You do not have to be on your yoga mat. You do not have to be in a yoga class. You do not have to do any other yoga poses. You can just hop into a child's pose, get the benefits of yoga. Anywhere. Probably not the sidewalk though. Making our way back up. Bringing the knees back underneath the hips. Let's take the hands a little bit forward and swing the hips forward so we're making a straight line from the shoulders down to the hips, to the knees. Big deep breath in here. And on our exhale, we're going to lower all the way down with the elbows nice and close. Lowering, lowering, lowering all the way down. Nice. Pointing those toes. Lifting the heart on your inhale. Exhaling to lower. Inhaling, looking up over the right shoulder. Exhaling to lower. Inhaling, looking over the left shoulder. And exhaling to lower. Planting those hands, tucking the toes. And we press on up to our modified plank. And then come on back to your child's pose. This time, you might really want to have your elbows out to the sides. Give those triceps a little stretch. Mine are sore. I might be projecting. We'll come on up. Knees come back underneath the hips. We're going to do that same little flow one more time. So we're taking the hands a little bit forward, coming into the modified plank. Hands are still right underneath the shoulders, so adjusting them as needed. Big deep breath in, and exhale to lower the heart all the way down to the floor. Pointing the toes, inhaling to lift the heart. This is baby cobra. Exhaling on down. Inhaling, looking over the right shoulder. Exhaling on down. And inhaling, looking over the left shoulder. Exhaling to come on down. Tucking the toes, planting those hands, and pressing back up. And then we'll just come back into a tabletop here, not all the way down into child's pose. We want to plant our hands nice and strong, spread the fingers wide, tuck the toes, and we're lifting the hips up into our first downward facing dog, alternating pressing one heel and then the other down towards the floor, walking the hands towards the top of your mat if you need some more room. We've been folding through the hamstrings for almost the whole class so far, and now we're opening them up. So we want to make sure that we're being gentle with those legs, that we're keeping a bend in the knees if we need a bend in the knees. We're not forcing them to open up and stretch before they're ready. When you're ready, taking a walk with the feet on up towards the hands. Finding a forward fold. The hands do not need to stay to the floor. Little bend in the knees is good here. Staying gentle through those hamstrings. Taking a big deep breath in, coming flat with your spine. And exhale to fold all the way down. Big deep breath in, long flat spine. And exhaling all the way down. Taking a deep bend in the knees and rolling on up. Standing nice and tall. We want to have our feet hip width apart and parallel. We want to have our kneecaps pointing in the same direction our toes are pointing. The hips are stacked right over the knees. The shoulders are stacked right over the hips. We're standing up nice and tall. Fingertips can shine down towards the floor. Feeling strong. Feeling stable. We'll take both arms all the way up. Taking the right hand down to the right thigh and reaching up and over with the left arm. We want the chest to stay open here. We're not reaching over and crunching down. Nice up and over stretch, like someone's holding on to your left hand and pulling you out of, nothing too dramatic, just pulling you up. We've been watching Trolls at my house, so all I can think about is like a hot air balloon, stuff like that. Inhaling, coming all the way up. And exhaling down with the left hand. I'll reach up and over with the right. Inhaling, both arms come all the way up. And we'll exhale, the hands come down into the heart. Let's go ahead and take the feet just a teeny tiny bit wider. Keep them parallel, keep the knees pointing straight forward. We're just going to try this with a little bit of a wider base. The seasons are changing after all. We need a little bit of a base. We'll begin with the hands at the heart. Inhaling, coming out and up with the arms. Exhaling to fold forward and bow. Inhaling for a long flat spine. And exhaling to fold fold back down. Little bend in the knees is good here. Inhaling, coming out and up. Exhaling, hands come into the heart. Inhaling, arms come out and up. Exhaling to fold and bow. Inhaling to lengthen and flatten the spine. Exhaling all the way down. Inhaling, coming out and up. And exhaling, hands into the heart. If you have migrated on your mat like I have and are no longer at the top of your mat, go ahead and come to the top of your mat. So you've got a lot of space behind you. We're going to do that same sun breath, and then we're going to do a couple different standing poses. Inhaling, arms come out and up. Exhaling to fold and bow. Inhaling for a long, flat spine. Exhaling all the way down. Inhaling, coming out and up. And exhaling, the hands come into the heart. And here with our hands at our hearts, we're going to take a big step back with the right foot. So that right foot is going to turn so it points out to the side, and that is good. We want the left knee and the left foot to be pointing towards the top of the mat. And then we're going to bend into that left knee. And if you need to adjust your right foot when you start bending that left knee, that's just fine. We want to come with the left knee right over the left ankle. That's where we want to feel nice and strong. The hips are squared to the front. The belly button and the heart are pointing in the same direction as that left foot and the left knee. Hands can stay here at the heart, or they can come up overhead. Palms can stay together or can come apart. Shoulders are dropped away from the ears wherever your hands are. Finding our warrior one position, getting a big stretch through the front of the right leg. Actually, the whole right leg, the front and the back. Big deep breath in to lift the hands a little bit higher. Exhaling, hands come into the heart. We'll take a big, careful step forward. Bringing the feet back to the top of the mat. Inhaling, arms come out and up. Exhaling to fold and bow. Inhaling for a long, flat spine. Exhaling all the way down. Inhaling, coming out and up. And exhaling, hands come into the center. Big step back with the left foot. Toes will turn out to the side. That right knee and right foot are pointing straight towards the front of the mat. The belly button and the heart are pointing straight towards the front of the mat. And we bend into the right knee, adjusting the feet as needed. Once we bend that right knee, we might notice some things about our positioning that need to be tweaked, and that's just fine. And here, let's see, I want to challenge you here to bring your shoulders directly over your hips rather than forward. Try to stack your shoulders. You're going to have to bring them back a little bit. Bring them straight up over those hips. So we've got a really vertical torso here. We can keep the hands into the heart or take them up. Keep the palms together or take them apart. Continuing to breathe here in your warrior one. Big deep breath in, lifting the fingertips a little bit higher. And on our exhale, we'll bring the hands back into the heart and take a giant step forward. Alrighty, we're going to do something similar to that for another pose. Inhaling, the arms come out and up. Exhaling to fold and bow. Inhaling, long, flat spine. Exhaling on down, noticing maybe a difference in your legs after those two warrior poses. Inhaling, coming out and up. Exhaling, hands coming into the heart. We'll take that big step back with the right foot. This time, we're opening up to the long side of the mat. So we might even be able to take the right foot a little bit farther back. This left knee is going to come right over the ankle. Again, once you bend that knee, you might find you need to adjust the feet, and that's just fine. We can take the arms out here. Then they extend out over the legs. The shoulders are stacked up over the hips. And just like in that last pose, we want to bring the shoulders right over the hips. We want the torso to be straight up and down. Rather than reaching forward into this left hand, we want to be nice and stacked through the torso. Inhaling to straighten both legs, lift the arms up. And exhale to come back into your warrior two pose. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Exhaling back with the knee coming right over that ankle. One more time. And exhaling into your pose, knee comes over the ankle. Hands come into the heart. We might need to take a couple steps to get back up to the top of the mat here. Do that same thing on the other side. Inhaling, arms come out and up. Exhaling to fold and bow, noticing a difference now between the right and the left leg. Inhaling, long flat spine. And exhaling all the way down. Inhaling to come out and up. And exhaling, hands come into the heart. Big, giant step back with the left foot. All the way towards the back of the mat. Bending into the front knee. Adjusting the feet once you get there. Extending the arms out over the legs. Stacking the shoulders over the hips so the torso is straight up and down. Looking over the right fingertips. We'll inhale, coming all the way up with the palms, the right leg straightens. Exhaling, bringing the knee back over the ankle. Inhaling, palms come together. Exhaling all the way down. One more inhale coming up. And exhaling back into your warrior two pose. Palms come together. And we can take one step or many steps to get back to the top of the mat. We'll take one more sun breath here. Arms come out and up. Exhaling to fold and bow. Inhaling to get nice and long through the spine. Exhaling to fold. Inhaling, coming out and up. And exhaling, the hands come into the heart. Alrighty, let's see. We're going to do a different kind of balancing pose. We just opened up our hip flexors a lot, and that warrior two was a big external rotation. So we're going to do another one. So let's see. We're going to stand really nice and strong onto the right foot, getting lighter onto the left foot, so maybe just taking toes to the floor. We want to stand strong through the whole right side, so we don't want to let that right hip pop out. We want to stay nice and strong here. Lifting that left knee and holding on to either the knee or underneath the thigh. The left foot is flexed. It helps you balance. Finding a point to look at that isn't going to move. So we're here, we're breathing. It's a variation on Padangusthasana. Let's go ahead and take the left hand to the left hip, taking the knee across the body. Continuing to breathe, taking the knee back to center, switching hands, right hand to the right hip, taking the knee out to the side. Knee comes back to the center. Both arms come up, leg goes straight, and then we come on down. Shaking it out. Okay, other side. Other side just for fun. Light onto the right toes. Strong through the left side, standing up really strong through that whole left side. Lifting up the right knee, flexing through the ankle, holding on behind the thigh or in front of the knee, whatever feels best to you. Getting your breath, getting your balance, finding a point to look at that isn't going to move, that helps you not move. Taking the right hand to the right hip, bringing the knee across the body, continuing to breathe. Bringing the knee back to center, switching hands, taking the knee out to the side. Knee comes back to center, arms come up, leg comes straight, and then we release, shaking it out. Alrighty, let's see. Let's come all the way to the bottom of the mat, so the whole mat's out in front of us. We'll take the arms out wide and all the way up. Exhaling to fold forward and bow. Let's go ahead and walk the feet wide, so they're as wide as your mat. The edges of your feet are in line with the edges of your mat. Lift up all of your toes and exhale to lower them back down to the floor. See if you can interlace your hands behind your back and let your shoulders just shrug up towards your ears with the help of gravity, noticing the sensations you feel through your shoulder blades here. You can stay right here, getting a really nice stretch through the legs, or we can extend the arms straighter. Maybe not all the way straight, maybe just a little bit straighter. Noticing the changes in the sensations in the back, the shoulder blades. Letting your head just hang here. Letting your face feel pretty goofy because it's upside down and gravity is working on it. Mine feels particularly goofy today, just letting that happen. It's the great thing about virtual yoga classes. Big deep breath in wherever you are. Bringing the hands back down to the lower back, letting the shoulders shrug towards the ears. Then we'll release the hands, sending them down towards the floor. Towards the floor, maybe not all the way to the floor, and that's just fine. We'll walk the hands over towards the right ankle. Big deep breath in. And exhale, letting the spine be soft. Walking the hands over towards the left ankle or the floor by the left foot, whatever your flexibility allows. Big deep breath in and exhaling. Coming back to center. And we'll bend the knees as much as we need to take both palms all the way down to the floor. So it's like we're about to do some leapfrog action. But we're going to walk the hands forward till we come down into a tabletop. So the knees will come down. Big toes come together. Knees come out wide. We'll find our child's pose. Taking the forehead down towards the floor, letting the tailbone hang down towards the floor. Big stretch through the knees and the fronts of the feet, tops of the feet. Let's go ahead and come on up into our tabletop. We can keep the knees wide though. We're coming back into a variation of child's pose with an arm stretch. The left arm will come out wide to the side and then exhale down through. We'll lower that shoulder maybe to a folded blanket, maybe all the way to the floor. You can lower the temple down to the floor. The right hand can stay in front of the face for support, or it can walk up towards the top of the mat. So that place in between the shoulder blades that we stretched when we were in that forward fold before, now we're twisting through that space. It's a space a lot of us tend to hold tension, especially when we drive, when we type, when we text, when we slouch, when we stress, all those things that we do. Trying to stretch through that space, release some of that tension so it doesn't hang out for too long in any one place in the body. Bringing that right hand back in front of the face and pressing on up. Now the right hand comes out wide to the side, threading it underneath the left, lowering the shoulder maybe to some blankets, maybe all the way down. Left hand can stay in front of the face or make its way up towards the top of the mat. Bringing the left hand back in front of the face and walking on up to our tabletop, bringing the knees back underneath the hips. And let's make our way onto a seat, onto our seats. So we'll sit. You want to make sure that you've got space both in front of you and behind you on the mat because we will make our way down. Let's bring the bottoms of the feet together. And we might just be able to hold on to the ankles here, straightening, lengthening through the spine, lengthening up through the crown of the head. We can also interlace the fingers around the feet, lengthening the spine, lifting up through the crown of the head as best we can. Taking a couple full breaths here. Maybe a couple circles with the neck. Releasing the feet and bring the knees back together. And we'll carefully roll on back. Knees are bent, bottoms of the feet are to the floor here. Just feeling out your spine just like we did at the very beginning of class. We'll take the arms out wide in a T position, letting the knees fall all the way down to the left. And we can keep the feet stacked or kind of let the knees separate and stagger themselves, whatever feels best to you. Looking over the right fingertips to complete the stretch, to complete the twist. Coming on up to center. And we'll send the knees down to the right. Maybe stacking them. Maybe letting them stagger themselves. Looking over the left fingertips. Coming back up to center. Let's take the arms up overhead and extend one leg and then the other long on the floor. We'll cross the right ankle over the left and hold on to the right wrist. So we might even be able to shift the feet over to the left side of the mat. We're crescenting the body over, coming into Bananasana in the shape of a banana. Getting a big stretch through the whole entire right side of the body from that right ankle all the way up to the right wrist. Coming back to center. And we'll cross the left ankle over the right. Holding on to that left wrist and tugging it over towards the right. Getting that same big, huge whole body stretch all the way through the left side. Releasing the arms, uncrossing the legs. And finding a big, nice spread out position on the floor if that feels good for your spine. If a nice spread out position feels precarious on your spine, feel free to bend the knees. Find a comfortable position. If you have any little movements you want to make before you settle into your final relaxation pose, feel free to make them. Any little twists, any lifting up of the legs or the arms. I did want to do one more thing for us, for our wrists. Can you extend the hands up towards the ceiling? And the legs can be in whatever position feels good. We're just extending the hands up towards the ceiling, feeling the circulation change in the forearms and the wrists, in the fingers. We always think about elevating our feet for circulation. We don't often think about elevating our hands unless there's some sort of an injury going on. But it can be really, really nice and beneficial, giving ourselves little rubs through the forearms. All these little muscles we use all the time. Rolling out the wrists a couple times. Switching directions. Wiggling through each finger. Stretching the fingers apart as far as they'll go. Making a fist a couple times. Just kind of playing around with the hands while they're in this position. Getting a little break. Alrighty, and then we'll bring the hands down. Maybe it feels good to set them on the belly. Maybe extending them out to the side. Maybe to the heart, whatever feels best to you. And now we'll settle in for our final relaxation. So situating your legs however it's comfortable. Finding a position that feels symmetrical from right to left. Feeling heavy into your mat. Allowing the feet to relax, the toes, the ankles and the calf muscles relax. The knees are not gripping, not holding any particular position, just allowed to be soft. The thighs are soft, those big heavy bones holding us down. Towards the floor, stretching through the spine gently. Gravity's helping us. Feeling the heaviness of the hip bones. The natural curves of your spine. Letting the belly be soft. The heart is open. The arms are soft. The hands are soft. The fingers are relaxed. The jaw is relaxed. The face is smooth. Feeling the heaviness of your head, letting your eyes close. Just breathing regularly here for a minute or two, not dwelling for too long on any thought that might arise. Beginning to deepen your breath. Taking little movements with the fingers and the toes. Rolling out the wrists and the ankles. And when you're ready, bending the knees and rolling to one side. Using the arms to gently press on up into a seated position. Lengthening up through the spine. Rooting evenly through your sit bones. Hopefully feeling some space through the shoulders and the hips and the neck that maybe wasn't there an hour ago. Bringing the palms together at heart. Close with our 3 deep breaths. Taking a big deep breath in for the world. Exhaling, hands come into the heart. Big deep breath in for our community. Hands come into the heart. And a big deep breath in for ourselves. Exhaling, hands come into the heart. Thank you so much. Namaste.